So, yesterday I uploaded a video about the statute of limitations. This is my second video on the topic. First of all, I want to start by saying that this happened when I was about 15. So, roughly 5 years ago, which is well past the statute of limitations. Anyway, this was right about the time that I got my go-kart. For those of you that know and have seen, I do rides on my go-kart and I video them. In the first couple, I talk, but in the last one, I put a louder exhaust on, and you can't hear me when I talk. So, I've had fun making those, but we're getting to the time of year where I can't really make them anymore. Also, on top of that, the fact that the go-kart is in storage right now, it's all set up for winter. It would be a lot of work to pull it out, get it all set back up to ride, but next summer, I'll be making more. I also still have my plasma band on. I went and donated today, and it went pretty good. Anyway, back to the story. This was before I had the go-kart with the current engine that it has now. Same go-kart, different engine. It had a smaller engine, but it was built so it could handle higher RPMs. As such, it had a higher top speed. This current engine is a little bit bigger, has a little bit more torque, but it doesn't rev out quite as high. Which, those of you who know me know that I like the high revving, top speed over acceleration. Anyway, leading up to it, this is a little bit before the story that I'm about to tell you guys. Me and my parents had a deal where if they ever caught me going faster than the speed limit, I would lose my go-kart 1 day for every mile an hour over the speed limit. So I was out riding my go-kart, and they happened to be coming up the road while I was going down. I passed them. They immediately knew I was going fast. So I finished riding for the day, took the go-kart home, parked it, shut it off, and they come out and they start telling me, like, how fast were you going? We know you're going fast, so just tell us. And I told them 35. I was not going 35. I was going quite a bit faster than 35. But I didn't want to lose my go-kart for too long. So I said 35, they said okay. I lost my go-kart. I waited the 10 days. It doesn't have keys or anything. Back then, it didn't have anything to make it so it wouldn't run. But it was loud enough to the point where if I wanted to take it out without them knowing, I'd probably have to push it 2 or 3 miles down the road. Even then they would hear it, but they wouldn't connect it with my go-kart since it wouldn't be firing up in the backyard. Anyway, I lose my go-kart for 10 days. I get it back. I'm super excited. It was a Saturday too. A Saturday in summer. I'm a 15-year-old kid with a love for going fast. So what else was I supposed to do? I was out in my go-kart. I also have this almost road track set up around my neighborhood. It goes, so I start at my house, I go down the road, turn and go up a different road, across some back streets, and then back down towards my house. And it's a decently long course. Took me 2 to 3 minutes to do it in my go-kart. So it's pretty long. And while the go-kart isn't quite the fastest thing in the world, it definitely is not slow. And some people are even shocked at how fast it was for a go-kart. The speedometer on it, when I had the old engine on it, it would show speeds I think the fastest I remember getting it to was about 75, 76. So it was fast, and that was downhill too. But it was fast. So I'd do this course, and the day I got my go-kart back, I did this course over and over, and I usually don't do it more than a couple times in a row because it's so loud and so obnoxious that someone is bound to call the police, and that will cause problems. Anyway, this day I did it a couple times, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do one more since I haven't ridden in so long. Do one more. This will be my fastest one yet. After this, I'm done. I'm shutting it off. I'm going inside. I'll do something else. Anyway, I'm hauling, foot to the floor, full throttle. I go down the road. I slow down for the first corner, which is one of the 3 sharp corners in the course. I slow down for it. Let me explain the 3 sharp corners first. First corner down there. It's a tight 90, and it's always busy, so there's never really any room to run off. It's also a blind corner, so if someone's coming, you're not going to know, especially over the engine right behind you with the exhaust another foot behind you. Second sharp corner is the first corner on the back road. You go up a hill that has a lot of bumps, has been repaved over and fixed multiple times. It's a hard right. The road then straightens out, so it goes up and then straight like that, and then a 90 to the right again. This is my second corner because if you can pull it off, it's usually best to do it in one motion. Just go up and straight through and curve it. So I do those first 2 corners, and then the last corner is a longer sweeping right, but it's uneven. There's bumps and there's manhole covers in the road. So I get through that. I'm flying down the back road. I get out to 400, the last road that I'm supposed to be going on, and I turn down it, and I foot to the floor again. I'm taking off. It's straight down the road, and coming up past me is a newer white Ford SUV. Back then, the cops in my city would drive new Ford SUVs and Ford trucks, but they were silver. And I looked at it, I saw that it was white. I didn't see any lights on the top, so I was a little bit skeptical, or I should say nervous, because I thought I almost just drove past a cop. So I'm easing out of it, and I'm easing out of my nerves. Foot back on the gas, start to speed up. He flips on his lights. I drove past a Ford undercover SUV on an unlicensed, unregistered, uninsured go-kart, while I myself am unlicensed and unregistered. That's not good. He flips on his lights, and I start to let off the throttle. I start to coast, and then it kind of clicks in my mind as I watch him go past. If he stops me, this is gonna get bad. So I kind of, as I'm coasting, I turn over my shoulder and I look back, and I see him go up, and the road is lined with cars all the way up. So he has to turn onto a side street to flip a U-turn, and as soon as I see him start to turn, I floor it and I take off. I go back down to my house, and I hurry and speed into my backyard. I shut off the go-kart, I hop out, I pull off my helmet, I put my helmet on the porch, and we had this kind of covered porch. It had a fiberglass roof with wooden poles supporting the roof. And then in front and around it, there were bushes. And they'd grown to a point where you could see out if you were standing in the porch, but it was really hard to see in unless you knew what you were looking for and you knew where to look. So I hear sirens coming down the road, and I think, if he stops, I'm screwed. I'm going to have to come up with a really good story. And lo and behold, he doesn't stop. Lights, sirens on, just goes flying past my house. And that was the end of it. Anyway, the next day, a bunch of my friends were all together, and I told them the story. And they believed me. I became the kid who ran from the police in a go-kart. And for the next couple days, it was awesome. Anyway, later on, me and my friends, as a scout activity, we went and toured our city police station. While I was there, I asked one of the officers, do you know anyone who drives a white Ford undercover SUV? Turns out, I didn't just run from the police on my go-kart. I ran from the sheriff of the next town over. Now, they're both small cities and they both kind of work together. But I ran from the sheriff on a go-kart. And I got away. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please leave a like and comment and let me know if there's more of these stories of my insane past involving cars and go-karts and motorcycles that you would like to know. Let me know. And if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, please subscribe. It always helps, and it makes it a lot more fun for me to make these videos because I know that more people will see them. Anyway, thank you, have a great day, and I will talk to you all later.